All right, here is your body paragraph 1 video. So, when you get to write your body paragraph 1, just remember that this is about the view of the setting. So this was the top category on your reading guide. Remember you chose your character, so when you were writing your thesis, you chose if you wanted to do Day or June, so you will only be looking at that side of the reading guide. But the first thing, like in every body paragraph, we have a topic sentence where we introduce the topic of the paragraph. I have a fill in the blank sentence for you. So it says, in the novel, your character's name, so put June or Day, has a blank point of view of the setting. Add an adjective there. It could be positive, negative, changing, consistent. How overall would you say that your character views the setting? And think of the setting here for this entire paragraph broadly, right? The setting could even just be like the Republic of America, like the country, because both of our characters move around into different settings. So they might have one perspective about a certain setting and a different perspective about another part of the setting or another part of the country. So think of the setting broadly as the Republic. After your topic sentence, you have your setup sentence. So you are letting your reader know that this paragraph is going in sequential order through the book and you're starting with at the beginning. So it says at the beginning of the book, choose the correct pronoun, he or she, depending on Day or June. So at the beginning of the book, she views the setting, finish this, as blank or in a good way, or she views the setting as a positive place, or whatever you think for at the beginning, maybe when she's at Drake, or whatever you're going to say is the beginning of the setting, how does she view it? Then we get into the important part of this paragraph. This paragraph, if you haven't noticed yet, well, this essay, if you haven't noticed yet, rather, is almost identical to the Most Dangerous Game essay. It's just on similar topics. It's just a different story and slightly different paragraph topics. So this is where you have to apply what we did last week in class with the quotes and citations. You need to, in your reading guide, part 1, find some sort of moment from the book that you could use that shows Day or June's perspective of the setting. So flip through your reading guide and find a moment where you're like, yes, this is the page number that I want to use. This moment really shows how my character views the setting, the country at the beginning. Then you need to write one of those fancy sentences that we did last week. So one of those sentences that has the context, your quote, and the page number. So I have linked this for you if you scroll back to the top. Your citations and quotes lesson. I have linked this presentation right here in your essay organizer, so use this if you need to. Remember, there are tons of examples in here. I think there's like 8 examples total in here to use. But you need to write a data point for the beginning of the story. Make sure you have your page number correctly. Make sure you have your context in your quote. Make sure everything's perfect. After that, then, you have your warrant. So, the warrant, what you need to do is actually written in your essay organizer. So it says, based on your data above, so based on that quote that you just introduced and quoted from the book, how does your character view the setting at the beginning of the book? And how does your data prove this is your character's viewpoint? Use at least one point of view word. So what you're going to do is say something like, based on this data, June views the setting as blank because, and you're going to explain. I don't have a presentation like I did with the last essay, but I did create kind of like a cheat sheet for warrants. So it is linked at the top here again. It says Legend Essay Warrants, and it looks like this. So I have a cheat sheet where I say these are the 2 questions you need to answer in your warrant. And remember, you have to use at least one point of view word. I gave you a full list of point of view words. So make sure you say June's opinion of the setting, or Day believes the setting is blank, or June's outlook on the Republic is, etc. Also, if you are struggling with how to word your warrants, I gave you some warrant sentence starters here. So basically what these are these are things that you can copy and paste into your essay and use them to help you word your warrants if you are just stuck on how to do this. So take a look at these, use these if you need to, but the main thing on those warrants is just make sure you answer both questions. So how does your character view the setting? So first tell me Dave views the setting as dirty, and then explain how does your data point, how does that quote that you just say prove that he views the setting as dirty, or whatever you said. So use this cheat sheet to help support you as you are writing your paragraphs. All right, so that's for the beginning. Then you will have a transition. Please use sequential transitions. So something like later in the book, in the middle of the book, after that. Use something to signify that you are moving through the book chronologically. Then you need to find a moment from the middle. Don't get too caught up about what equals the middle. Just make sure that your second data point goes after your first data point. So your first data point happens first in the book, then your second data point happens after that. Repeat that same step. Every single data point in this essay needs to be a quote with a proper page number and context and everything. Then you'll have your warrant. How does your character view the setting in the middle? Then a transition to the end. Remember, be sequential. At the end of the book, later in the book. Lastly, after that happens, June then, right? You need to be sequential and walk your reader through legend. Then you repeat those steps again, but now a moment from the end of the book. So you should probably be looking at part 2 of the reading guide. Find a page number that you put in the reading guide that you like, a moment that you like, that best describes your character's view of the setting. Incorporate that data point in here with the context, indicator, quote, citation, everything you need. Write another warrant, use that warrant cheat sheet, and then finally you have your finishing line. So just in one sentence, some people's finishing lines are getting way too long. In one sentence, just overall summarize your character's viewpoint. It could be as simple as, throughout legend, June's perspective of the setting changes a lot once she learns more about what the government is doing. Or it could be something like, throughout legend, Dave's perspective of the setting stays consistent. It can be as simple as that, just a quick, simple finishing line. So that is your first body paragraph, your character's view of the setting. Just please make sure that you are using the citations and quotes lesson to help you with your data points, and you are using this warrant cheat sheet to help you with your warrants.